I'm Andrew Moran, Liberty Nation's economics editor.
Very, very rocky.
Death by government.
Drain the swamp.
Hello and welcome to another installment of Liberty Nation Swamponomics videocast. I'm Andrew Moran, Liberty Nation's economics editor. This week, is a rapid de-dollarization unfolding before our eyes? The US dollar index, a metric of the buck against a weighted basket of currencies like the Japanese yen or British pound, has been in free fall this year. After declining about 6% since January, the index is now at a level unseen since around the middle of 2022. US Treasury yields, meanwhile, have been soaring. Long-term yields recently registered their best weekly performance since 1982. Yields are now higher than they were before President Donald Trump's Make America Wealthy Again event on Liberation Day, where he announced universal and reciprocal tariffs. These two developments in the financial markets are occurring amid enormous volatility and fear. So, for two conventional safe haven assets, what's happening? Does nobody want them anymore? In a recent interview with CNBC, Minneapolis Federal Reserve Bank President Neel Kashkari made the case that the world could be turning away from the United States. In other words, the de-dollarization campaign is gaining steam again. Here's what Kashkari said on CNBC's Squawk Box.
There's a lot of complexity. The basis trade has been getting a lot of attention. But I would just point to something that Steve mentioned, which I think reinforces the story a little bit, and that is that the dollar has been weakening. Normally, when you see big tariff increases, I would have expected the dollar to go up. The fact that the dollar is going down at the same time, I think, lends some more credibility to the story of investor preferences shifting.
Market watchers have presented similar takes as of late. Marco Papich, the BCA research strategist, told the Business News Network that there has been a rotation out of the United States, and the exodus began well before President Trump's Liberation Day event on April 2nd. Deutsche Bank economists say global markets are reassessing the dollar's structural attractiveness as a world reserve currency. Now, it could be an array of other factors contributing to the confounding trend in the US bond market. Banks could be selling treasuries to shore up interest rate swaps. It could be a bond vigilante spooked by fiscal policies. Whatever the case, as Liberty Nation News has discussed over the last few years, a coalition of emerging markets has attempted to ditch the US dollar and embrace alternative options. While President Donald Trump's threat to impose 100% tariffs on countries waving goodbye to the buck appeared to put a stop to this trend, at least temporarily, recent movements suggest that something is happening in the global financial markets. Recent Treasury auction data suggests that domestic and foreign demand for US debt remains robust. Meanwhile, Swift figures suggest that the US dollar still accounts for more than half of all global transactions. So what's happening? Well, speculation that China has been dumping US Treasury securities has been rampant. If there is chaos in the markets, yields are rising, and demand is solid, then this theory could be solid enough. At the same time, the Chinese yuan is not appreciating against the greenback, though experts say that Beijing could be averting conventional methods by embracing backdoor strategies. So, could China trigger chaos in bonds? Absolutely. Officially, the Chinese regime owns nearly $800 billion in US debt, though it has been gradually unwinding its position over the last few years. Whether it is enough to ignite an earthquake depends on potential size of sales. Unfortunately, we will not know until the summer when the April Treasury figures are released. In the end, the US bond market will continue to be a sea of international intrigue, as it will play an integral role in advancing the Trump economic agenda or sink the administration's fiscal efforts. The Treasury's actions could be short-term movements or long-term plays. It is all a waiting game for now. That's it for this week. Please read my full Swamponomics column on the pages of LibertyNation.com, and be sure to check out my previous Swamponomics TV videos and interviews. Liberty Nation does not endorse candidates or campaigns or legislation, and this presentation is no endorsement. Thank you. I'm Andrew Moran, Liberty Nation's economics editor.
Very, very rocky.
Death by government.
Drain the swamp.